Captain Cho Minho stared at the screen in his small ship. The numbers made no sense. His hands shook as he checked the readings again. Something huge was coming toward Earth. Not one ship. Not 10 ships. Thousands of them. "Computer, run the scan again," he said. His voice was steady, but sweat ran down his face. The computer beeped. The same numbers appeared. 50,000 ships, each one bigger than any building on Earth. They were still far away past the edge of the solar system, but they were coming fast. Cho Minho had been watching the empty space between stars for 3 years. Nothing ever happened out here. Space was quiet and dark. But now the darkness was full of alien ships, and they were all heading straight for Earth. He pressed the emergency button. A red light flashed on his control panel. "This is Captain Cho Minho on the silent runner. I need to speak to Admiral Kim Dae-ho right now. Emergency message. Class 1 threat." The wait felt like hours, but it was only minutes. Admiral Kim Dae-ho's face appeared on the screen. He was a tall man with gray hair and serious eyes. He had fought in 3 wars and never lost a battle. "What do you have, Captain?" the Admiral asked. "Sir, I'm sending you the scan data now. There's a fleet coming toward us. It's huge, sir." The Admiral looked at something off-screen. His face went pale. "Are you sure these numbers are right?" "I've checked them 5 times, sir. 50,000 ships. The biggest ones are the size of small moons. They'll reach Earth in 72 hours. The Admiral was quiet for a long moment. "Get back to base, Captain. Fast as you can. And don't tell anyone about this yet." The screen went dark. Cho Minho turned his ship around and pushed the engines to full power. Behind him, the alien fleet kept coming. On Earth, Admiral Kim Dae-ho walked quickly through the halls of the Space Defense Center. Other officers saw his face and knew something was wrong. He had called an emergency meeting. Only the most important people would be there. He entered a room deep underground. The walls were thick metal and no signals could get in or out. Director Lee So-min was already there. She was in charge of Earth spies and information gathering. She was small and quiet, but she knew secrets that could change the world. Chief Engineer Park Ji-woo came in next. He was young for such an important job, but he was the smartest person anyone had ever met. He could build machines that seemed like magic. "Sit down," the Admiral said. "We have a problem." He showed them the scan data from Captain Cho Minho. The room was silent as they looked at the numbers. 50,000 ships, Director Lee So-min said slowly. "Who are they?" "I don't know yet," the Admiral said. "But I'm about to find out." As if he had heard them, an alarm started ringing. A voice came over the speakers. "Admiral Kim Dae-ho to the communication center. Priority 1 message from unknown source." They rushed to the communication center. A huge screen showed static, then cleared. An alien face appeared. It had gray skin, red eyes, and sharp teeth. When it spoke, the computer translated its words. "Primitive humans of the 3rd planet," the alien said. "I am Emperor Thexmore of the Vorthak Empire. We have conquered 7 star systems. Your system is next." The alien smiled, showing more sharp teeth. "You have 72 hours to surrender. All humans will become slaves. Your planet will become ours. If you resist, we will turn your world into glass and dust." The screen showed images of other planets. Cities burning, oceans boiling, entire worlds turned into empty rocks. "We have destroyed civilizations far greater than yours," the Emperor continued. "Your primitive radio signals tell us you are weak. You fight each other with simple weapons. You cannot even travel to other stars. Surrender now, and some of you may live." The message ended. The room was quiet. Director Lee So-min spoke first. "Sir, I need to tell you something. We've been watching the Vorthak Empire for 20 years. They've never lost a battle. Every species either surrenders immediately or gets wiped out in hours." "How many people do they have?" Admiral Kim Dae-ho asked. "Billions," she said. "They take over planets and make the people into slaves. They use them to build more ships and weapons. The Vorthak themselves are warriors. They live for battle." Chief Engineer Park Ji-woo looked worried. "Our public fleet has maybe 200 ships. They have 50,000. The math doesn't work." Admiral Kim Dae-ho was quiet for a long time. He looked at each person in the room. "I need to know something. Can either of you keep a secret? A secret that could change everything?" They both nodded. "Good," the Admiral said, "because it's time you learned the truth about Earth's defenses." He pressed a button on his desk. The lights dimmed and new screens appeared on the walls. They showed space around Earth, but it looked different. Things that looked like space stations were marked as something else. Mining ships were labeled as weapons. The asteroid belt was covered in red dots. "What you're looking at," the Admiral said, "is the real Earth defense system. We've been building it for 50 years. Every civilian space station is actually a weapons platform. Every mining operation is a military base. The asteroid belt has been turned into the largest weapons system ever built." Director Lee So-min stared at the screen. "But how?" "The budget, the material, hidden," the Admiral said. "Spread across 1,000 different projects. The public thinks we're just exploring space and mining rocks. They have no idea we've been preparing for war." Chief Engineer Park Ji-woo pointed at the screen. "These weapons, they're not like anything in our public files." "No," the Admiral said. "They're not. We've been developing technology in secret. Technology that makes our public weapons look like toys." He turned to face them. "The Vorthak think they're attacking a primitive planet with simple defenses. They have no idea what we really are." Director Lee So-min asked the question they were all thinking. "What are we?" Admiral Kim Dae-ho smiled for the first time that day. "We're humanity, and we've had 70 years to prepare for visitors." Outside, Captain Cho Min-ho's ship landed at the secret base. He didn't know it yet, but he was about to become part of the shortest war in galactic history. A war that would change how every species in the galaxy thought about the small blue planet called Earth. The secret meeting room filled with more people. Admiral Kim Dae-ho had called in the commanders he trusted most. They came from hidden bases across the solar system, bases that the public had never heard of. Commander Han Woo-jin arrived first. He ran the Mars defense grid. To everyone else, Mars was just a planet with research stations and mining colonies. They had no idea that the entire planet was actually a giant weapon. Jung Hye-jin came next. She was the best pilot in the human fleet, but her ship didn't appear in any official records. The Phantom Strike could move faster than light itself. She had been testing it in the empty space between planets for 2 years. Yoon Tae-young entered last. He was in charge of the secret labs on the moon. The public thought the moon bases were for science and research. They were right, but they didn't know what kind of research. Yoon Tae-young and his team had been building weapons that could crack planets in half. Admiral Kim Dae-ho looked at each person. "You all know why you're here. The Vorthak Empire is coming. 50,000 ships. They think we're helpless." He pressed another button. The screen showed space around Earth again, but now with even more detail. Red lines connected thousands of hidden weapons. Green dots marked secret military bases. Blue areas showed where human ships waited in the darkness. "Chief Engineer Park Ji-woo will explain our current capabilities," the Admiral said. Park Ji-woo stood up. He was nervous, but his voice was clear. "For 50 years we've been lying to the galaxy. Every signal we send into space is fake. We've been broadcasting old radio shows and primitive TV signals. We want everyone to think we're still using simple technology." He pointed at the screen. "The truth is different. We have weapons that can bend space and time. We have ships that can appear and disappear at will. We have turned our entire solar system into a fortress." Commander Han Woo-jin spoke up. "The Mars grid is fully operational. We have 2,000 hidden weapons platforms built into the planet's surface. From space, they look like research stations and mining equipment, but each one can destroy a ship the size of a moon." "The asteroid belt is ready too," said another voice. It was Shin Yu-jin, the commander of the asteroid defenses. She had joined the meeting by video link from her command center hidden inside a large asteroid. "We've moved over 10,000 asteroids into position. Each one has engines and weapons. The aliens will think they're just rocks floating in space." Young Hye-jin smiled. "My fighter squadron is ready. We have 50 ships that the enemy cannot see or track. We can hit them from any direction and disappear before they know what happened." Admiral Kim Dae-ho nodded. "What about the big weapons?" Yoon Tae-young answered. "The planet crackers are ready. We have 12 of them hidden in the moon's core. Each one can destroy a planet or create artificial black holes. We've never tested them at full power, but the math says they'll work." Director Lee So-min had been quiet, but now she spoke. "Sir, I have intelligence reports from across the galaxy. The Vorthak have never faced real resistance. Every species they've attacked either surrendered without a fight or was destroyed in minutes. They don't know how to fight an equal enemy." "Equal?" Chief Engineer Park Ji-woo laughed. "Director, I don't think we're equal to the Vorthak." Everyone looked at him in surprise. "I think we're much better," he continued. "They've been conquering primitive species for 100 years. They're used to easy victories. We've been preparing for the worst war possible. We've been getting ready to fight enemies much stronger than us. Admiral Kim Dae-ho stood up. It's time to activate Protocol Omega, full system defense mode. Around the solar system, things began to change. On Mars, Commander Han Woo-jin gave orders to his hidden army. Thousands of fake mining stations opened up like flowers. Inside each one was a weapon powerful enough to destroy a city. In the asteroid belt, Shin Yu-jin's crews finished their preparations. Rocks that had floated in space for millions of years suddenly had engines and targeting systems. The asteroid belt became a cloud of hidden weapons, all waiting for the signal to attack. On the moon, Yoon Tae-young's scientists made final checks on the planet crackers. These weapons were so powerful that using them would change the shape of space itself. They could create or destroy stars. They could make black holes appear wherever humans wanted them. Jung Hye-jin climbed into her ship, the Phantom Strike. Around her, 49 other pilots did the same. Their ships were invisible to every type of sensor the aliens might have. They could fly through solid rock if needed. They could appear behind an enemy ship and fire before the enemy knew they were there. But the biggest surprise was Earth itself. The planet that looked peaceful and helpless was actually the most dangerous weapon in the solar system. Hidden under the oceans were gravity generators that could reach across space. Built into the mountains were particle beam weapons that could cut through anything. The entire planet was a weapon, disguised as a home. Captain Baek Jun-seo received his orders at the hidden base near Jupiter. His ship, the Ghost Wind, was even more secret than the others. It could become completely invisible and move without making any trace in space. His job was to get close to the alien fleet and gather information. Remember, Admiral Kim Dae-ho told all his commanders, "The aliens think we're primitive. They think our best weapons are nuclear missiles and chemical rockets. They have no idea what we really have." Director Lee So-min checked her spy networks. All across the galaxy, other species were watching to see what would happen to Earth. Most of them expected humans to surrender quickly. A few hoped the humans would put up a good fight before losing. None of them expected what was really going to happen. The Vorthak fleet was getting closer. Their ships were huge and covered with weapons. They had plasma cannons that could boil oceans. They had void torpedoes that could crack continents. They had shields that could stop any weapon they had ever seen. But they had never seen human weapons. As the alien fleet moved through space, they sent messages to each other. They talked about how easy this battle would be. They made jokes about the primitive humans. They argued over who would get the best parts of Earth after the conquest. Emperor Thexmor sat in his flagship, the Death's Herald. He was planning a victory celebration. He wanted the destruction of Earth to be broadcast across the galaxy. It would show every species what happened to those who resisted the Vorthak Empire. He had no idea that Earth was not planning to resist. Earth was planning to win. The Vorthak fleet reached the edge of the solar system like a storm of metal and death. 50,000 ships spread out in perfect formation. Each ship was bigger than a mountain. Their weapons could destroy moons. Their shields had never been broken. Emperor Thexmor stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Death's Herald. Through the huge windows, he could see the small blue planet in the distance. Earth looked so tiny and helpless. He smiled, showing his sharp teeth. "Begin the demonstration," he ordered. The fleet's biggest weapon charged up. It was a beam that could cut through anything. They pointed it at Pluto, the small planet at the edge of the solar system. The beam fired. In seconds, Pluto was gone. Not destroyed, gone. There was nothing left but empty space. Emperor Thexmor activated the communication system. His message went out to every radio and screen on Earth. "Humans," he said, "you have just seen the power of the Vorthak Empire. Your little planet Pluto no longer exists. This is what happens to those who resist us. You have 1 hour to surrender completely. If you do not, your planet will share the same fate." On Earth, people panicked. They had seen Pluto disappear on their telescopes. The alien weapons were more powerful than anything humans had ever built. At least that's what the aliens thought. In the secret command center, Admiral Kim Dae-ho watched the alien fleet with calm eyes. Director Lee So-min stood beside him, checking reports from their hidden spy ships. "They're in position," she said. "Captain Baek Jun-seo is close enough to scan their defenses. The aliens have no idea he's there." Captain Baek Jun-seo's ship, the Ghost Wind, floated invisibly near the alien fleet. His sensors studied every ship. He found their weapons, their shields, their weak points. The aliens could not see him or detect him. To them, he was just empty space. "Admiral, Captain Baek Junseo's voice came over the radio. I'm sending you complete scan data on their fleet. Their shields are strong, but they only protect against the kinds of weapons they know about. They've never seen gravity weapons or space-bending technology. Admiral Kim Dae-ho nodded. All stations prepare for Protocol Omega activation. On my signal. Across the solar system, hidden weapons came online. On Mars, Commander Han Woo-jin's defense grid powered up. What looked like simple research stations began to glow with energy. Each one was actually a gravity manipulation device that could create black holes or bend space itself. In the asteroid belt, Shin Yu-jin's asteroid weapons moved into final position. Thousands of rocks suddenly had targeting systems and engines. Each asteroid was now a missile that could travel at nearly the speed of light. On the moon, Yoon Tae-young's planet cracker weapons charged up. These weapons were so powerful that they could destroy stars. The aliens had no idea that the peaceful-looking moon was actually the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy. Jung Hye-jin and her fighter squadron waited in their invisible ships. The Phantom Strike and 49 other fighters hung in space, completely hidden from alien sensors. They could attack from any direction and disappear before the aliens could react. But the biggest surprise was Earth itself. The planet looked normal, but hidden beneath its surface were weapons that could reach across the solar system. Gravity generators in the ocean depths, particle beam arrays built into mountains. The entire planet was a weapon disguised as a home. The hour was almost up. Emperor Thexmore prepared to give the order to destroy Earth. He expected the humans to surrender at the last moment. Every species did. The demonstration with Pluto always worked, but humans were not like every other species. Admiral Kim Dae-ho opened a communication channel to the alien fleet. The Emperor's ugly face appeared on his screen. Well, human? Emperor Thexmore sneered. Do you surrender? Admiral Kim Dae-ho looked calm. Behind him, his officers were ready. I have a message for the Vorthak Empire, he said. Emperor Thexmore laughed. You wish to beg for mercy? Good. Grovel, and perhaps some of your people will live as slaves. No, Admiral Kim Dae-ho said quietly. The message is this. You have 30 seconds to begin immediate withdrawal from our solar system. If you do not leave, we will demonstrate why humanity has never lost a war. The alien emperor stared at him. Then he burst out laughing. His officers laughed too. The idea that these primitive humans could threaten the mighty Vorthak Empire was the funniest thing they had ever heard. You amuse me, little human, Emperor Thexmore said. Very well. I will destroy your planet slowly so you can watch your world die. He turned to his weapons officer. Begin bombardment. Target their major cities first. The Vorthak fleet opened fire. Thousands of plasma beams and void torpedoes launched toward Earth. It was enough firepower to destroy 100 planets. But the weapons never reached Earth. Admiral Kim Dae-ho had been counting down in his head. 30 seconds are up, he said calmly. All stations activate Protocol Omega. Show them what humans really are. Space around Earth suddenly filled with light. The mining stations on Mars revealed their true nature. Commander Han Woo-jin's gravity weapons fired in perfect sequence. They created dozens of artificial black holes directly in the path of the alien attack. The Vorthak weapons disappeared into the black holes as if they had never existed, but that was just the beginning. Fire the asteroids, Admiral Kim Dae-ho ordered. Shin Yu-jin smiled as she gave the command. All asteroid units launch. The asteroid belt exploded into motion. 10,000 rocks that had been floating peacefully for millions of years suddenly became missiles. They accelerated to 90% of light speed. To the aliens, it looked like the stars themselves were attacking. Impossible, Emperor Thexmore whispered. Asteroids cannot move like that. He was about to learn that many impossible things were possible when humans were involved. Jung Hye-jin's fighter squadron attacked next. 50 invisible ships appeared behind the alien fleet as if they had teleported. The Phantom Strike led the charge, firing weapons that the aliens had never seen before. Particle beams that could cut through any armor. Gravity bombs that crushed ships into tiny balls of metal. Enemy fighters, an alien officer screamed. Where did they come from? I don't know, another replied. They're not showing up on any sensors. The real surprise came when Earth itself joined the battle. The peaceful blue planet suddenly blazed with energy. Gravity weapons hidden in the ocean depths fired across space. Particle beam arrays built into mountains targeted the largest alien ships. But Admiral Kim Dae-ho was not done yet. Activate the moon weapons, he ordered. Yoon Tae-young took a deep breath. Planet crackers online, targeting the enemy flagship. Emperor Thexmore finally understood that he had made a terrible mistake. The humans were not primitive. They were not helpless. They were the most dangerous species he had ever encountered. Retreat, he screamed. All ships retreat. But it was too late. The war was almost over and it had barely begun. Emperor Thexmore's retreat order came too late. The human weapons were already firing. What happened next would be remembered as the shortest war in galactic history. It lasted exactly 47 seconds. The first 15 seconds belonged to the gravity weapons. Commander Han Woo-jin sat in his hidden control room deep inside Mars. Around him, screens showed the alien fleet. With the push of a button, he unleashed hell. Gravity pulse weapons, fire in sequence, he ordered. The fake mining stations on Mars opened like deadly flowers. Each one contained a gravity manipulator that could bend space itself. They created artificial black holes directly inside the alien fleet. The Vorthak ships, which had never been damaged by any weapon, simply vanished. They were crushed into nothing by gravity so strong it warped reality. Target destroyed, reported one officer. 200 ships gone. Target destroyed, said another. 300 ships gone. Emperor Thexmore watched in horror as his mighty fleet disappeared. Impossible! Nothing can create black holes. It violates every law of physics. But humans had learned to break the laws of physics 50 years ago. At 15 seconds, the asteroid attack began. Shin Yu-jin floated in her command center inside a hollow asteroid. She had been waiting for this moment for 20 years. All asteroid units, full acceleration, she commanded. 10,000 asteroids that had been disguised as space rocks suddenly blazed with engine fire. They moved faster than anything the aliens had ever seen. Each asteroid was guided by computers that could calculate the exact position of every enemy ship. The aliens tried to shoot down the asteroids, but there were too many. The rocks moved too fast. They hit the Vorthak ships like bullets fired by gods. Each impact destroyed ships that were the size of cities. They turned their asteroid belt into bullets, whispered a Vorthak officer. How is this possible? They are not what we thought, another alien replied. They are not primitive at all. The asteroids kept coming. They moved in perfect formation, like a school of metal fish swimming through space. Every shot hit its target. Every hit destroyed another piece of the Vorthak fleet. At 26 seconds, Mars revealed its greatest secret. The planet that everyone thought was just a cold, dead world suddenly came alive. The entire surface opened up like a giant eye. Commander Han Woo-jin stood up in his control room. Mars defense grid, full power. Show them what we really built here. The planet Mars was not just a planet anymore. It was a weapon the size of a world. Hidden beneath its surface were 2,000 antimatter beam generators. Each one could cut through the strongest armor ever made. Together they could slice apart moons. Focused beams of pure energy reached across space. They moved at the speed of light. The aliens could not dodge them or block them. The beams cut through the Vorthak ships like knives through paper. Their planet is shooting at us, screamed an alien gunner. How can a planet be a weapon? Emperor Thexmore had no answer. In all his years of conquest, he had never seen anything like this. The humans had turned their entire solar system into a fortress. Every planet was a gun pointed at his fleet, but the worst was yet to come. At 36 seconds, Young Hye-jin and her fighter squadron struck. They had been waiting invisibly behind the alien fleet. Their ships were so advanced that they could fly through solid matter. They could appear and disappear at will. Ghost Squadron, attack pattern Omega, Jung Hye-jin ordered. 50 invisible fighters suddenly became visible as they opened fire, but they were not where the aliens expected them to be. They were inside the alien ships. The Phantom Strike and its squadron had flown through the enemy hulls like ghosts, then become solid again inside the ships. Enemy fighters inside our hull, an alien captain screamed. How did they get through our armor? The human fighters fired from inside the alien ships. There was no way to defend against this. The Vorthak vessels exploded from within, torn apart by weapons they could not see or understand. Jung Hye-jin smiled as her ship tore through another enemy vessel. This is for thinking we were helpless, she said. Her squadron moved like sharks in a feeding frenzy. They appeared inside ships, destroyed them from within, then vanished to attack the next target. The aliens could not fight what they could not see or predict. The final blow came at 36 seconds. Admiral Kim Dae-ho had been saving the best for last. "Activate the planet crackers," he ordered. On the moon, Yoon Tae-young placed his hand on the firing control. These weapons had never been used in battle. They were so powerful that they could destroy stars or create new ones. The scientists had built 12 of them in secret, hidden in the moon's core. "Planet Cracker 1, target the enemy flagship," Yoon Tae-young said. His voice was steady, but his hands shook. He was about to fire the most powerful weapon ever created. The moon opened up like a flower made of metal and energy. Deep inside its core, the planet cracker charged up. It drew power from the moon's own gravity, from the solar wind, from the quantum energy of empty space itself. Emperor Thexmore saw the moon begin to glow. Something deep inside the small satellite was building up energy like nothing he had ever seen. "What are they doing?" he whispered. "The moon, sir," his science officer said. It's not a moon anymore. It's a weapon. The humans built a weapon inside their moon. A beam of pure force shot out from the moon. It was not made of light or particles or energy. It was made of twisted space itself. When it hit the Death's Herald, the flagship simply ceased to exist. Not destroyed. Not vaporized. It just stopped being real. Emperor Thexmore had 1 second to understand what had happened to him. Then he and his ship vanished from the universe. But the planet cracker was not done. The beam kept firing, sweeping across the alien fleet like a broom. Every ship it touched disappeared completely. In 3 seconds, 10,000 vessels were gone. At 47 seconds, the war ended. Captain Baekjun Seo, still invisible in his ship Ghostwind, looked around at the space where the alien fleet had been. There was nothing left. No ships, no debris, no trace that the Vorthak Empire had ever existed. "Admiral," he reported, "the alien fleet has been completely destroyed. No survivors, no escape pods, nothing." On Earth, Admiral Kim Dae-ho looked at the tactical display. 50,000 enemy ships had become 0 enemy ships in less than 1 minute. The most powerful fleet in galactic history had been wiped out by humans who were supposed to be primitive and helpless. Director Lee So-min checked her sensors. "Sir, we're detecting massive gravitational waves spreading out from the battle site. Every species within 100 light-years will know that something incredible happened here." Admiral Kim Dae-ho nodded. "Good, let them know. Let the whole galaxy know what happens when someone threatens Earth." He opened a communication channel that would broadcast to every inhabited world in the galaxy. "This is Admiral Kim Dae-ho of the Earth Defense Force," he said. "The Vorthak Empire sent 50,000 ships to conquer our planet. The war lasted 47 seconds. There are no survivors. We are humanity. We are the species that turned our solar system into a fortress while you thought we were primitive. Any other species considering invasion should remember this day." Across the galaxy, billions of aliens received the message. They had been expecting to hear about Earth's surrender. Instead, they learned that the mighty Vorthak Empire was gone forever. The age of underestimating humanity was over. The debris field from the destroyed Vorthak fleet stretched across light years. But there was not much debris. Most of the alien ships had been completely destroyed by weapons that removed them from existence itself. The few pieces that remained were twisted metal and strange materials that scientists would study for decades. Captain Cho Min-ho, the man who had first spotted the alien fleet, now flew his ship through the empty space where 50,000 enemy vessels had been. His sensors could barely detect the gravitational wave still rippling through space from the battle. "It's hard to believe," he said to himself. 47 seconds. That's all it took. On Earth, the secret was finally out. The news networks showed footage of the hidden weapons revealing themselves. People around the world watched in amazement as their peaceful planet transformed into the most heavily armed fortress in the galaxy. Admiral Kim Dae-ho stood before the World Council. For 50 years, Earth's leaders had kept the secret of their true military power. Now it was time to explain why. "We knew this day would come," the Admiral said. "Every civilization that explores space eventually meets hostile aliens. We spent 50 years preparing for the worst possible scenario. We built weapons that could fight enemies far stronger than ourselves." The President of Earth asked the question everyone wanted answered. "Why did we keep it secret from our own people?" "Because," the Admiral replied, "if the galaxy had known how powerful we really were, every species would have united against us. They would have attacked us before we were ready. By appearing weak, we made them ignore us until it was too late. But the real changes were happening beyond Earth. Across the galaxy, alien civilizations were having emergency meetings. The destruction of the Vorthak Empire had sent shockwaves through every government, every military, every species that had ever looked at the stars. On the planet Zephyria, the High Council met an emergency session. These aliens had been allies of the Vorthak. They had planned to share in the conquest of human space. The humans destroyed 50,000 ships in less than 1 minute, reported their military commander. Our sensors detected gravitational anomalies that should be impossible. They created artificial black holes. They fired beams that removed matter from existence. The High Counselor was pale with fear. What kind of species are they? We don't know, the commander admitted. But I recommend we send a message of friendship immediately, and maybe some gifts. Similar conversations were happening on hundreds of worlds. Species that had dismissed humans as cute primitives suddenly realized they had been sharing the galaxy with apex predators. On Earth, Director Lee So-min was very busy. Her communication center was receiving messages from across the galaxy. Hundreds of alien species wanted to talk to humanity. All of them had the same basic message. Please don't visit our systems. We'll send tribute. She brought the messages to Admiral Kim Dae-ho. Sir, we're receiving surrender offers from species we've never even met. Apparently, news of the battle has spread faster than we expected. The Admiral looked through the messages. The Keltorian Empire offers us 12 star systems if we promise not to attack them. The Hive Collective wants to become our servants. The Crystal People are offering to build us a palace made of living diamonds. What should we tell them? Director Lee So-min asked. The truth, Admiral Kim Dae-ho said, that we never wanted to conquer anyone. We just wanted to be left alone. But the galaxy was not going to leave humanity alone anymore. Earth had become the most important planet in known space. Every species wanted to be humanity's friend. No one wanted to be humanity's enemy. Ambassador Lim Sung-ho was chosen to represent Earth at the Galactic Council. The Council was an organization of peaceful species that worked together to solve problems. They had never invited humans to join before. They had thought humans were too primitive. Now they were begging humans to join. Ambassador Lim Seung-ho's ship arrived at the Council station. It was a huge structure that floated in space between several star systems. Representatives from 300 different species worked there. As soon as his ship docked, Ambassador Lim Sung-ho was met by the Council President, an alien with blue skin and 4 arms. Welcome, honored human, the President said. We are grateful that you agreed to visit us. Thank you, Ambassador Lim Sung-ho replied. Earth is honored to be invited. The Council meeting was unlike anything in galactic history. Ambassador Lim Sung-ho entered a huge chamber filled with aliens of every shape and size. As he walked to the speaking platform, the entire chamber fell silent. Beings of the galaxy, he began, I bring greetings from Earth and humanity. We have heard your messages, and we want you to know that we come in peace. A wave of relief swept through the chamber. Humanity has no desire to conquer or control other species, Ambassador Lim Sung-ho continued. We built our defenses to protect ourselves, not to attack others. We hope to be friends with all peaceful civilizations. The Council President stood up. On behalf of the 300 species represented here, I offer humanity a special status that has never existed before. We propose to grant you the classification of protected apex species. Ambassador Lim Sung-ho was surprised. What does that mean? It means, the President explained, that your species is recognized as the most powerful in the galaxy. It also means that any attack on humanity will be considered an attack on all Council members. In return, we ask only that you use your power to protect peace in the galaxy. The vote was unanimous. All 300 species agreed. Back on Earth, Chief Engineer Park Ji-woo was already working on new projects. Now that the secret was out, he could build weapons openly. But he was not building weapons of war. He was building tools of exploration. Admiral, he reported, the new starships are ready. We can finally explore beyond our solar system without pretending to be weak. Commander Nam Yoon-young was chosen to lead humanity's first official exploration fleet. She had served on the secret defense projects for 20 years. Now she would take human ships to new worlds. Our mission, she told her crew, is to explore new star systems and make contact with new civilizations. We go as friends, not conquerors, but if anyone threatens us or tries to hurt innocent people, They will learn why the Vorthak Empire no longer exists. Her fleet of 12 ships left Earth's solar system. They were the most advanced vessels ever built. They could travel faster than light. They could defend themselves against any attack. They carried weapons that could crack planets. But their primary mission was peaceful exploration. As Commander Nam Yoon Young's fleet jumped to faster than light speed, they received a message from Earth. It was from Admiral Kim Dae-ho. "Remember," the Admiral's voice said, "you represent all of humanity now. Show the galaxy who we really are. Show them that we are explorers, protectors, and friends, but also show them that we are not to be trifled with." The galaxy had changed forever. The age of easy conquest was over. Species that had survived by being strong now had to learn to survive by being peaceful. The Vorthak Empire's destruction had sent a clear message to every civilization among the stars. Humanity was no longer hiding. On his flagship, the Earth's Pride, Commander Nam Yoon Young looked out at the stars ahead. Somewhere out there were new worlds to explore, new civilizations to meet, new friends to make. But anyone who threatened Earth or its allies would face the same fate as the Vorthak Empire. They would discover that humanity had spent 50 years learning how to turn an entire solar system into a weapon, and humanity had learned their lesson very well. The message was simple and clear. Earth was not just another planet. Humans were not just another species. They were the guardians of peace in the galaxy now, and they would not tolerate bullies. Director Oh Tae-min, who had taken over Earth's xenological research, received daily reports from across the galaxy. His job was to study alien cultures and learn how to work with them peacefully. "Sir," his assistant reported, "we've received formal requests for mutual defense pacts from over 200 species. They all want humanity to protect them from other hostile aliens." Director Oh Tae-min smiled. "Send them our standard response. Earth will protect any peaceful civilization from aggression, but we expect all our allies to be peaceful as well. Anyone who starts a war will find themselves facing us." The galaxy had learned to fear humanity's power, but they had also learned to trust humanity's honor. Humans protected the weak and punished the aggressive. They were the peacekeepers the galaxy had been waiting for. And it all started because one alien emperor made the mistake of thinking that humans were primitive and helpless. He could not have been more wrong.